Holy shit. Alright, well. Visit the codex? What is this? Oh, does it tell them what people do? So, Rough Riders, horse-mounted warriors carrying out a range of duties for their regiments, including scouting, patrolling, high-speed, close assaults. Range 1, Commissar. Index, Imperial Guard. High-ranking member of the Department of the Minotaurium, serving as a key part of the Imperial Guard's strategic command. A Commissar's duties range from the war room consultation to frontline combat. Amongst Imperial Guard troops, Commissars are looked to as the figurehead and focus point of all Imperial matters. In most instances, a Commissar's decisions are final, immediate, and can include capital punishment for any offenses deemed appropriate. Commissars are often combat veterans for many years. So there's a tutorial. Is there not an option setting? Alright, I'm just going to turn the volume down on my headset then if I don't have like an overall. Actually, they got quite a few guys here. So, Space Marines. Maximum range. Inception classified. Individual strike forces. 2 planetary assault capabilities. Level alpha clearance. Defensive capability classified. Functionality. All military operations. The Space Marines are humanity's finest warriors. Genetically tailored for the role of utterly loyal to the Emperor. The Space Marine chapters represent mankind's greatest hope of victory and in the unending wars for survival. A Space Marine is stronger and tougher than an ordinary human with faster reflexes and superior coordination. Space Marines are the spiritual brothers as well as brothers at arms. This dual role of physical and spiritual warriors is very important and is what makes the Space Marines such a dedicated warriors. Space Marines are stubborn. They roll 4 to 5 morale checks. Oh wow, these are vehicles. Damn, man. Imperial Guard is a collective term for most Imperial's main offensive defensive units. Most colonized human worlds of the Imperium hold their own Imperial Guard forces, although some worlds guards specialize in specific battle disciplines. All planetary Imperial Guard are capable of a wide range of military functions. Mordian Tactical. The Mordian Iron Guard earned its name in the fierce defense of its own world from Chaos forces. Their valiant defense of the Mordian palace is legendary. The Mordian Iron Guard are known to be particularly stalwart and efficient in all military and imperial matters. So, same picture here. Yeah, it's the same story. Mordian Heavy. Yeah, so it's just the same name or same story, I'm guessing. Yeah. Alright. Same thing. Catachans. Imperial Guard from the jungle death world of Catachan, known in their close quarter combat skills and their Unswerving ferocity in battle. Same story, yeah. Just assault, heavy weapons, Catachan Captain. Tolerant tactical. The Tolerant are known across the Imperium for their ability to fight in the most harsh, arid conditions as found on their homeworld. The Tolerant Desert Raiders are best known for their pivotal roles in the Brachius Solient incursion on Malthus IV, the Plant Palatus Hive Wars, and the Supreme Sacrifices of the Julius Prime Purges. And then they just have variations of that. What do we got here? Hydra AA. Stormhammer. Wow. Saddle Shore. What the hell is that? Leviathan. Troop Transport and Armed Mobile Command. Never seen that before. Baneblade, that's our standard heavy tank. Basilisk is artillery. Bombard, Chimera, Deathstrike, Hellhound, Lehman Rush, Demolisher, Manticore, Predator, Land Raider, Rhinos, Vindicator, Whirlwinds, Thud Gun, Warlord, Reaver, Hound, Thunderhawk, Marauder, Landspeeder. Interesting. So I heard they have all these other things, but I think it's only Imperial Guard and Orcs that are actually in this game. Storm Boys. Orc Storm Boys are youthful generation of orcs. Unlike adults, adolescent orcs crave order and structure. Really? It is during this period in their life cycle that they are known as Storm Boys. Despite their youth, Storm Boys make aggressive and dangerous opponents. Gretchen. Boy, it's gonna be hard to tell these guys apart, I think. Gretchen are smaller than orcs and are believed to be engineered servant caste of the long-lost Orc Empire. Gretchen take on menial tasks in Orc society. They are commonly known to maintain and refuel machinery, make dangerous weapon repairs, and provide sanitation services to the upper caste orcs. Some Gretchen also provide battlefield support by forming mobs armed with any number of available weapons. Mad Boys. Just kind of wiggling around there. Orc Mad Boys are known by some of the most unstable members of the Orc race. Their mental conditions range from genius to psychosis, with no consistency even within individuals. All are unpredictable. It is believed that flaws transferred to genetic memories account for the majority of the Mad Boys. Boy, I have trouble reading this on this kind of background here. Evil Sons. The Evil Sons Orc clan have a particular fascination for speed and noise. Both these factors are evident in their attacks, utilizing high-speed war bikes and war buggies. These are often fitted with loudspeakers to increase the engine noise and the clan's war cries. The Evil Sons are easily identified by their predominant use of color red. They commonly held Orc belief as red vehicles go faster. Bad Moons. The Bad Moons are considered to be the wealthiest amongst all Orc clans. They have a tendency to wear highly decorated armor and paint their war vehicles in bright colors. Because of their wealth, their equipment tends to be the most advanced and well kept. Goths. The Goth Orc clan are known to be the fiercest of all Orc clans. Goths prefer close quarters combat fighting and have little patience for complex strategy or tactics. Goths can visibly be visibly identified by the predominant use of black in their color schemes. Evil Sons Knobs. Knobs are orc nobility, usually relatively wealthy or powerful. Knobs often command loyal mobs of orcs and Gretchen, both during and between combat. The most powerful within a group often takes the title War Boss or Warlord. Bad Moon's Knobs. Alright, same thing. Goth Knobs. The War Boss. Orc War Bosses. An Orc War Boss is usually a member of high nobility caste of orcs. Knobs. War Boss holds sometimes a shaky alliance amongst his generals by whatever means are necessary. Often instinctively military geniuses, war bosses are driven to fight and conquer and will do so at all costs. Vehicles. Giblet. War bikes. Knob war bikes. Battle wagons. Bone breakers. Bone cruncher. So that's like a better version. What the hell is this? Boy, some of these are just weird. I've never even heard of some of these. Lung burster. So they're all like short range. Bowel burner. Gob smasher. Spleen ripper. Oh my god. Gut ripper. Dragster. Doesn't even do any damage. Pulsar rocket. Rocket speeder. Cannon speeder. War buggies. Weird boy tower. Flank wagon. Different gargons. Fighter bombers. Interesting. Alright, well I think one of these was play a tutorial, right? So let's see what this is all about.
Commissar.
Okay. So is that like my objective then? Ooh. This is weird. I don't like this at all.
Commissar. Commissar.
Oh, I see what's happening here. I can actually deploy my forces.
Commissar. Sir. Commissar.
Alright, so I can't see anybody.
Sir. Commissar.
So how do I know how far they can move? 8 move, 2 fire. Okay. What the hell did you just do? Oh, that right click changes their direction. Okay.
Commissar. Commissar.
I wonder if these guys gain experience.
Sir. Sir.
Is this end phase?
Sir.
Commissar.
Sir. 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 Sir.
Commissar.
Do I have to overwatch, or will they automatically overwatch? So I think they were hiding in there.
Commissar.
Sir.
Commissar. Commissar. Commissar.
Cool.
Commissar. Commissar.
Can't even tell if I'm doing damage. I assume I am.
Sir.
Commissar.
Okay.
Commissar.
Sir.
Hmm.
Sir.
I didn't want you to do that, actually. Your forces vanquish all opponents. Press enter when you are finished with it.
Sir. Sir.
Commissar.
These things seem like the MVPs is artillery. I can't figure out is how they do damage on this.
Commissar.
So I guess that means I won. Alright, I think I'm going to have to do some reading about this because I am pretty confused about how this game works. Do losses count? Do losses not count? Indirect fire, regular fire, so... if you want to get this game to work, I'm playing it through GOG. It was crashing immediately on start. You have to go online, and somebody actually created a bug fix for this to be able to get it to play. So I'm gonna see if these videos are recording okay with it and see what I can do. But it's definitely kind of hard to play in its current form here just with my computer. I think I'm going to try it without having a second monitor because I think that's causing it to glitch a little bit too. So try to get this game uploaded. Won't make any promises at this point. Okay, like most of these old games, if you go to the manual, it actually gives you part of the plot and storyline. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. If you're not interested in knowing the whole story, then go ahead and skip to the next video here. But we'll go through for those of you that want to have the full story here. So I'm going to go through the manual here. Unfortunately, it may take a little bit of time because they just randomly plot little points throughout the manual, so I'll have to jump around a little bit, but here we go. So Volstad was first colonized by the Imperium in 979 Millennium 35. However, history of Volstad at this point is unknown. Warp storms isolated the planet while still in its sociological infancy, left to develop on its own for the next 3,500 years. When Volstad was rediscovered by the Imperium, it was in a state of planetary civil war. Feudal, war-driven economies led by four main families: House Ochinka, House Pechinka, and House Selenko and House Volga, had brought the planet to its knees. The infighting had become so fierce that, due mainly to nuclear proliferation, the ecosystem was near collapse. Most of the surface has been overtaken by the ocean, swollen by melted polar caps. The Imperium put a stop to all of this. The technologically advanced troops, the Departamentus Reclamata, set to work crushing the infighting, and I gotta make this text a little bit bigger here, guys. Sorry about this. It's too small. It's making it hard for me to read it. Let's see here. The strongest family, House Pechinka, was placed in a position as the official Imperial family. The ecosystem was restored to a workable state, and the technology was brought up to Imperial standard. For the past 2,560 standard Terran years, Volstad has been a planet strongly loyal to the Imperium. Two main elements place Volstad at a premium to the Emperor: the Astropass and the Titans. Nestled in the central region of Tolcharan lies the Adeptus Astra Telepathica Monastery. The Astronomicon is a navigational reference point essential for safe and successful traversing of the perilous realms of the nearby warp space. The Astropass role on Volstad are to provide a stabilizing influence upon this temperamental warp site, allowing the Astronomicon to perform its function, permitting a relatively safe warp navigation to continue through this vital corridor of the segmentium. should the distortions become too great to stabilize, or should any ships find themselves in jeopardy within the warp, the Volstad Astropass can provide what is effectively a psychic lighthouse. Oops. The Astropass have had to cease their work, however, since the orcs arrived, for fear that the orc psychic weird boys might discover them and their purpose. Should the Astropass be destroyed, the orcs could cut off the whole sector of the Imperial navigation, and entire regions of space would be at their mercy. It would certainly extinguish any hope of long-range reinforcements arriving in time to save Volstad. Secondarily, an archaeological team discovered ancient titans still in stasis on Volstad in 928 Millennium 41. These titans were placed on Volstad during the initial terraforming mission and remained undisturbed for a better part of 7,000 years. The decision on what to do with their massive war machines was still pending within the Imperial Senate when the Orc incursion began. Alright, let me switch to the next part here. So I think some of that is foreshadowing and may be important for us. So I'll have to keep that in memory there for some of these things we read about. Volstad is broken up into two main areas, the Paulus Ocean occupying the western hemisphere and the land masses of Daskoya, Koplov, and Langtonia, and the Volconiania occupying the eastern hemisphere. I wonder if the developers of this were from the eastern area, because these are like Russian locations here, and it's like killing me to try to pronounce them. The Koplov Fold and an active tectonic fault lie within the mountain range, slices diagonally through Daskoya, dividing it into the major northern and southern reaches. The northern reaches mainly consist of hot, ashy wastes intermixed with sparse rolling plains, rocky valleys, and scrubby farmland. The partially terraformed southern reaches are a bit more hospitable, with occasional fertile farmlands, river valleys, and alpine mountains, but it is not without its share of strip-mined areas, factory cities, and ashy plains as well. Bordoni, the main city-state, is located in the basin of the largest section of Koplov Mountains along its northern face and is on the border of the Borod ash plains. Burondi's main function is that of a spaceport. It is well equipped to provide shelter and support the abundant numbers of large spacecraft. It is an important way station for the Pragathius warp points, and the only port large enough to handle the necessary volume of craft that would make up effective reinforcements in the Battle of Volstad. The main city of Volstad is Polvania Hellspire, located on Volstad's Kopolov Steppes. Polvania's original main spire was toppled when a large meteorite struck a nearby mountain, causing a massive section of the mountain to fragment and impact with the main spire. The huge structure toppled like a megalithic tree, its 5-mile length falling point down, piercing the hive below, causing deaths of hundreds of thousands, including the noble houses. The whole area of the hive was rendered uninhabitable due to structural damage and massive chemical and radioactive debris from numerous industrial sites destroyed. A news fire has since been built and a new political infrastructure formed. Also, a manner of religious cult has risen in the event, the Volkestad Order. They tend to inhabit the more accessible ruins of the damaged hive sections and control all forms of commerce that could be gained from its ancient holocaust. It is said that the Order also includes things that are less than human. These mutations are said to inhabit and guard the deeper and more central areas of the damaged hive body, as if it were a holy shrine. Volstad's eco-history has rendered its weather unusual. Constantly shifting global jet streams An after effect of the melted polar ice caused dramatic and sometimes violent pressure shifts that have all but eliminated safe travel across the planet's larger oceans. Travel is restricted between land masses to where the oceans are shallow, where the ionic disturbances are at a minimum. These thermal anomalies, however, cause moderately temperate equilibrium for Volstad's climate, with no great temperature extremes from one area to the next. Alright. The Orc incursion began when Warboss Skrull made a controlled crash landing of a space hulk onto the Rubashka Peninsula in the northeastern corner of Daskoya. The Hulk now sits in a deep crater with some of its damaged Gothic spire still standing, while other surfaces have been built by the Orcs for the purposes of their war efforts and personal aesthetics. Conveyors and tracks run up the slopes of the scarred crater to the rim, where an ever-growing settlement forms with the factory buildings, workshops, gantries, and crane arms overhanging the edge like a titanic spider lying on its back. The Orcs currently have outposts of varying strength spread out over the vast areas of Daskoya. The further from their base the Orc gets, the less potent their forces are, but their own reinforcements trickle in with alarming regularity as the Waa's notoriety spreads. There has been one stroke of luck in the Imperium's favor. Two Orc, I think it's supposed to be knobs from different clans, has set for the southwestern corner of the continent in order to secure the region, the small spaceport there, and any riches for themselves. A bad mood stopper mob under the war boss Orc Thrall Kraka and a Blood Axe armored division under Grotz Knock Kral set out in an official race for the region. Unfortunately for the Orcs, they came within shooting distance of one another. Old rivalries and inter-clan hatreds flared, and they set upon each other. The results were disastrous for them. Both detachments were effectively destroyed, and the result of which was the southwestern peninsula was left poorly defended by the Orcs and was an ideal location for the Imperials to establish their initial foothold in retaking Volstad. When Warlord Skrull came forth and the Waa Orc on Volstad, he attracted numbers of three clans to his side. His own wealthy Bad Moons, the rapacious Evil Sons, and the orkiest of all clans, the Goths. Additionally, mech boys from all parts joined him, bringing with them a wide variety of gargons and deviously creative vehicles. They rolled through Volstad's defenses at amazing rapidity, taking over the entire planet in little more than a month. They lost thousands of Orcs along the way. However, if the humans are ever to retake the planet, now is the time, before the Orcs can rebuild their weakening numbers. To this end, they have assigned you, the Lord Commander Militant, to marshal the forces necessary to bring Volstad back under the Empire's control. As you conquer more territory, more forces will become available until you can finally drive Skrull from the planet. The Imperium has made an imperative that you liberate Volstad. To this end, they have assigned you elements of the Ultramarine 2nd Company. Its duty is to establish a landing zone on the planet while eliminating any Orcs who might try to interfere. You command them from the headquarters in orbit around the planet. The Ultramarines cannot remain with you, as the Empire needs them elsewhere. But this does not mean you should waste their lives. After they have established a landing zone, your regular troops begin arriving. You should get used to conserving their strength. Okay, so that's a hint that the first mission, if you don't get to keep the Space Marines and any losses, it don't really matter, because afterwards you'll get your regular units. That's good to know. I'm reading this after several episodes into the game because I wasn't sure if it was going to function correctly because I was having some issues with it running, but now that it's working, it's going okay. So, alright. So, next transmission. The entire ruling arm of House Pachinka was tragically wiped out when their island retreat off the Mosvanyas, off of the Rybashka Peninsula, was destroyed as a result of the Orcs' original landing. When the Orc Space Hulk hit, it activated a spur of the Kopilov fault line and triggered massive seismic and volcanic activity. A massive tidal wave took the Imperial family unaware and destroyed the island and its inhabitants. The only surviving member of the ruling branch family was Yuri Olikov Pachinka, fifth overlord and nephew of the late overlord Primus. As fate would have it, Yuri survived by being the weakest Pachinka, bedridden for several years. He further refused to accompany the royal party due to personal reasons involving his servant, Mikhail Kolovstoy. Alright. So that's giving us the backstory there of the families. Warboss Scroll of the Evil Sons clan is a shrewd and intellectual orc, for an orc that is. One day he and one of his raiding parties attacked and captured a lone Imperial ship, quite by luck as it came out of the war. Scroll's luck continued in that the ship contained 5 newly trained astropaths on their way to their distant postings. After looting the ship and modifying it to suit his needs, Scroll killed and ate all 5 of the astropaths. He was never sure whether it was a good idea or not, since humans in general never did settle very well with him very well. These particular human weird boys he had eaten had given him some very strange dreams indeed. Visions of conquest and immense power came to him. Whole sectors of Imperial space were at his feet. In the back of Scroll's tiny mind, the seed of an idea sprouted and blossomed. He just might have before him a crusade inspired by the visions undoubtedly sent to him by Gorkenmark. One particularly intense bout of these visions drove him into action. He grabbed the bestest lads, and went into the bridge of his captured ship. The other orcs argued as to what was going on, what to do next, and who was in charge. Scroll, who had been sitting quietly in the corner with a fixed glassy stare during all this, suddenly leapt up and with a roar pulled his bolter and fired a single shot into the huge navigation map on the wall. The room fell quiet except for the echo of the shot that was sounding and the sound of falling shards of metal. Scroll spoke. "We goes there." Scroll pointed at the hole of the map with his scaly finger. Gorkamok says so. He turned to the others, who watched with open-mouthed amazement. They also says, "It's a war." The war room spontaneously erupted into a deafening roar of excitement. All joined in, even the ones who did not know what was going on. The group was so shocked and impressed by his inspired decision-making that a unanimous judgment was made to follow Scroll in his quest, and with that the cast was die. Volstad would be his. We are beginning to find fascinating biological information regarding the orcoid species. I am working in conjunction with Generator, Major, and Zion with my findings. It appears the orcoid species may be closer in their genetic makeup to humans than previously thought, but it is the differing elements that are alarming. Orcoids appear as if they may be a symbiosis of 2 biologies within a single structure. In addition to the humanoid base, a secondary makeup of algae fungal base. These findings are in direct lineage to the generator Major Zabroil's reports regarding the subject, whose outstanding research brought us to the brink of discovery we are today. Ultimus Laudar? To understand the orcoid species, one must first be aware of their so far unique biostructure and xenological genetics. When I refer to the orc species, I refer to all aspects of the green-skinned society, from the dominant orcs, though through the smaller Gretchen, snotlings, and sub-animal squigs. Although physically and anatomically diverse, these species all share a common genetic base. The standard genetic structure of the orcoid remains essentially the same as that of man, in that it dictates the majority of the creature's form, though see later comments about the growth patterns and biological processes. We currently hypothesize that this plant-like secondary structure within the orcoid gene gives orcs their strength, resilience to damage, and is the key to understanding their provocative cycle. If our findings bear out to be correct, it may bear out that the orc threat could be vastly underrated. The orc reproductive cycle may in fact be airborne by nature. Flyers are some of the most devastating units in the game, but they are also some of the most vulnerable. Use them as early as you can. Do a wonderful job fleshing out enemies. Use them to target the best forces. They can knock out artillery before it's a chance. Get them close to enemy guns or anywhere near it. Okay, so yeah, aircraft, if they get close to units, they can get shot down. Yeah, it has some basic information in the manual about other races, but I think they had plans to bring in the Eldar, Tyranids, and Chaos, but they never came about, so it's just, and multiple legions of Space Marines, but only the Ultramarines made it in. So I'm not going to read that because it's not really relevant since it never made it into the game. So, alright, there's our backstory. Let's see what the future holds for us with this campaign, and if we're able to do it on the hardest difficulty. Thanks again for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe, because we post more content for you. Thanks again to the subscriber that donated this game to the channel, so we're able to see what it's all about. Have a great day.